Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for the fourth quarterfinal matchup. We already know that through to the semi-finals, there is going to be Samoa versus Argentina. There will be the winner of this game taking on the Flying Fijians, but it is New Zealand versus Great Britain. The New Zealand side is as follows: Rush, Rokalisoa, Collier, Molia, Amanaki Nicole, Leroy Carter, and Moses Leo. Last man in the starting side. Then for GB, it will be Waddleton, Barden, Bavadra, Ferguson, Morgan, that is Morgan Williams, Tom Williams, and Kalen Burrito. So it's going to be a good game. And I believe New Zealand cannot underestimate Great Britain here because we saw what the Great Britain side were able to do up against Fiji only last week in Hong Kong, taking them to golden point time. Few big injuries for both sides, including for Great Britain. They haven't got Max McFarland in this contest, so that will be something keep an eye out for. Go, New Zealand. What do you think, says Kevin? I think they've got a good chance, but like I said, cannot underestimate Great Britain in this game. They have got plenty of talent, but it is going to be kicked off. Slapped back by New Zealand, but then slapped back by Team GB. And a double knock on. So we will be going back for the original scrum to Great Britain. I'm just realizing how busy today's schedule is. Says Kerr, yeah, we have got the semi-finals just around the corner. Are going to be taking place at about 8 p.m. somewhere around there, and then also the finals and etc. are a little bit later on as well. Go New Zealand goes, says BJ there. And if I got 3 in a row, I will do it in one live stream. A good idea or no, says Brandon? You could do. It just depends on whatever you find easiest in terms of setting up scoreboards and everything like that. I always find that with the sevens, you hardly have time in between matches to be able to get everything set. So if you haven't done the prep beforehand, it can be very tricky. A nice run forward from Morgan Williams. Across to the left-hand side here. It's going to be the wide ball. Uppy Bavadra. Trying to charge over the top. It's going to be an advantage. The referee was very close to giving the penalty there. He actually had his arm out for the advantage, went up for the penalty, didn't blow it, then put the arm back out for the advantage, went up to blow it again. Just couldn't quite decide which way he wanted to go, but it is good that he did play the advantage as they've now moved up to the halfway line. Ethan Waddleton takes contact now. Burrito. Cross Williams. Bavandra receives it out wide. Looks like he's a little bit wobbly on his feet at the moment. Another penalty going their way. And I may manage an hour's sleep before the semis, says Kerr there. So, yeah, be sure to try and get as much in terms of the naps and everything that you can just to make it feel a little bit less of a long day than it already is, which is like 50 hours, isn't it? At the moment, the scoreboard part is hard. For the sevens, Rugby Union, it easy. There's Brandon, nice run from Bavadra. So even though he is only walking on one leg, New Zealand able to take that ball out the back. I thought it was stuck inside of the breakdown, but instead now Rokalisoa for the Kiwis will run in the try. Kulia Rokalisoa stores it. And now 5 minutes remaining in the first half. The Kiwis strike first. It is a second try in Singapore's time. Starting to look, or time to start looking at cards after teams keep giving away back-to-back penalties, says Mus. And also, we have got coming to New Zealand, says BJ, and try. I was looking for the Argentina game, apparently. They already won against Australia. They certainly did. So they are through in one side of the semi-finals. That is up against the Samoans. And then this one, whoever wins this game between New Zealand and GB will be going on to face up against Fiji. So that's not an easy game to have as a semi-final, but both sides will certainly be excited for it. See the celebrations there from the youngster Cody Vai. His debut competition last week in Hong Kong. He had a very successful debut competition there. And New Zealand is just too good, says Luke. You know, I was my favorite YouTube streamer, says Aimbot. Do appreciate that a lot, mate. And we've got plenty more streams coming up. I believe today we've probably got another maybe 5 or 6 sevens matches that we are covering on the channel. And then alongside that, we have still also got next week where we are doing Super Rugby. We are doing the URC and all sorts that is coming up. Fiji are really. There's Miss Cern. I got 12 hours to sleep last night. I woke up at 1:30 p.m. Get ready for Monday live stream and scheduled for next weekend. I think my dad come over as well, says Brandon. And Fiji are a really good team. They certainly are. And it's going to be a tricky match for whoever plays them. New Zealand, they played up against them in the final of Hong Kong, in which they were able to get themselves to win. I think you should sign off the weekends with good night, Kiwi. Copyright issues may arise, says Kerr there. Yeah, I always say see you in the next one, don't I? And the next one's normally like 5 minutes later if it is sevens, but yeah, we might have a couple midweek videos coming out, Kerr. I know you mentioned how you were watching some of those old Rugby Challenge 4 videos. We might get a couple more of those coming in the near future. That's going to be an arm going down. Now, referee says that they can take that quick tab. Great run forward from, I believe that is going to be the young man, Morgan Williams. New Zealand, though, in the breakdown, getting the turnover. Once again, Hamish, I will be here all today's for the sevens to you. Love you stuff, Hamish, says Brandon. Thank you very much, mate. Moses Leo taking the quick tap. Going off to Rockley Soa. Dylan currently still with that 7-point lead. Dylan Collier going to Leroy Carter on the left. Tries to pierce through the GB defence, but a good tackle made by Robbie Ferguson. Oh, was that a knock-on in the breakdown? No, it was actually a penalty against GB in the end, they decided. Moses Leo off to the right-hand side to Akulia Rockley Soa, Dylan Collier. In fact, it's Amanaki Nicole now. Slammed down into the turf and knocks the ball on in the process. Pass between the legs for Great Britain here. Ethan Waddleton taking a couple seconds to work out exactly where they are going to try and run through. Leroy Carter trying to make a big shot. You could see he was building up, but wasn't quite able to keep up with the quick stepping of Waddleton. Now pass out wide to Morgan Williams. Goes for the chip and chase. He's knocked the ball on in the process. That kick did not go anywhere near as far as he liked. Now Moses Leo pins the ears back. Goes round Barreto. Offload from Amanaki Nicole. Dylan Collier a little bit slow reacting to that one, but gets it away. Off to the side. Brady Rush. One more. Goes wide to Leroy Carter. That will be the second try. I think Dylan Collier is actually hurt here because he took a long time to get back up to his feet. But yeah, hopefully he is going to be all right. And Fiji off form this year. New Zealand and Archie's are two form teams. Says Carl. And first time I saw New Zealand or Goodnight Kiwi, I felt like a kid again. Says Kerr. And if Argentina reaches the final, we are winning it. New Zealand or Fiji will give it their all to win the semi-finals and get tired. Says RNG. Although you shouldn't underestimate Samoa. Samoa are a tough side. They might tire out the Pumas in that game as well. But Rockley Soa has taken Kurt Baker's role in the World Sevens. Has missed there. That kick has missed away to the side. New Zealand leading though 12 points to nil and try. Let go. I am fired up, says Brandon there. And at the moment, New Zealand certainly firing on all cylinders in the early stages of this contest. Still having a couple little loose moments, but not doing too badly. Overall, that one just travels the 10 metres, but Great Britain do end up with the ball anyway. Now Ferguson, waiting for this one to become available at the back. Taking their time here, Great Britain. Nice step. Nice pass again. Now Kelly. Did actually come off the bench, Paddy Kelly. And also, you do not know what I mean. Obviously, says Moose. And there, it's got nothing to do with the play on the field, says Moose. Did I read that one out? Maybe not. And now Barreto. Let's go forward. Through one tackle, but driven towards the touchline by Brady Rush. And either Samoa wins against Argentina in a very head-to-head tight game, or we demolish them. There's no in between. Yeah, it's either going to be a one-sided affair. New Zealand get the advantage. They will score their third try. It is Amanaki Nicole now. Does get another try for New Zealand. And also Brandon and Kerr. Love that ocean, big swell in the Southern Ocean. Says the roof. New Zealand going into halftime could find themselves with 17 points on the board compared to the nil, unfortunately, of Team GB. The ball just got stuck in there, and then New Zealand able to counter-ruck with Amanaki Nicole. And also we have got their lovely commentary, Hamish. I got commentary battle versus you, says Brandon there. Although I feel like the better way of looking at it is just that we're both in that same section. You know, we're not versing each other. We're just both doing it. If anything, it would be helping each other. But 17 points to nil at the moment for New Zealand. Ranked number 1 at the moment in the World Rugby Sevens rankings. And I feel like that's not going anywhere in the next couple legs unless Argentina are able to knock out New Zealand in the next competition extremely early. Like I'm talking New Zealand get 14th, Argentina get first, and then the same in the leg after that. And then they might have a chance of overtaking them. New Zealand up we go. Bulldogs still need to score, and I don't think Samoa gets home versus Argentina. They have to play perfect. And they did not look like it versus Uruguay, says Mus. Although, I will mention sometimes it seems to be when Samoa are actually playing well, they always have that game where it goes wrong, but it doesn't just go wrong, it goes very wrong. So I would say with them still doing a little bit of rough stuff throughout their games before this, it might actually help them just that little bit more. Because we've seen them have perfect group stages, then they come up against a side in the quarterfinal, play terribly, and they're out. And then they play extremely well in the semi-final again. Whereas to this time, they've kind of had their big game up against Fiji. They've played all right in those next two, but they're still trying to gradually build towards the final. So yeah, it's going to be a great game either way, and it's going to be exciting. Samoa looking good, Hamish. I got questions. I don't help you, Hamish. You help me, Hamish. Says Brandon. And Samoa only chances if Hamish says Argentina will win. True. And that preview will be coming out before the match. So be sure to keep an eye on that, as some of you will know. Although Hong Kong, I actually did very well, didn't I? With the prediction wise. The only one that I didn't predict really right, I think, might have been the final. Other than that, I think I got most of them correct. So we'll see how this one goes for the previews and whatnot. I've only done one so far, and that was actually that Samoa beat Fiji, and they did for the Singapore Sevens. It's weird getting them right because I had so many leagues where I just get everything wrong. Now, Sione Molia. Ball bounces back. Rockali Soa now ends up with it in his hands. Looking to cut through the gap. Sells the dummy to Moses Leo. Inside ball off to Amanaki Nicole. 6.5 minutes remaining now in this contest. 17 points on the board for the Kiwis as well. And look at the positives, Brandon. You be helped. I'm beyond redemption and help. Says Kerr, that will be the penalty going the way of Great Britain. Going off to the left-hand side now. Cutting through. Team GB trying to find the gap. Ferguson dragged down. Dylan Collier, a bit of a counter ruck. So he must have been all right after that slight injury that he had earlier on in the contest. Now, once again, off to the right-hand side. Nice step. Oh, my word. Believe it was Barden. Did actually start this match, Jamie Barton, but we haven't really seen too much of him. And also, well, it is good. Finally beat Fiji this season, and Samoa has now beaten every team. Says Moose. 5-minute. Oh, that was just a drop ball. That was an open play as well. No one even touched the GB player. It just ended up slipping through the fingertips. You've got the Goodnight Kiwi. See, that's 1994, so that's a little bit before me. But I'm sure that my parents are. I don't know whether my parents would remember or whether that was a slightly later than them stage. And come on, New Zealand, rack up a few points. And I was it's never too late. Look at me, says Roof. And yeah, I hear helped Hamish, says Brandon. That will be the knock on. Going back for the scrum. So we have got, I missed one earlier on, Leroy and Rocker. Sprinting champions, Michael Johnson. Says Ruben, Argentina rested a lot, and then Australia game defeated them too easy. Yeah, the big question is whether or not they've got Luciano Gonzalez, because he had a bit of a knee injury. He continued the match, but that may have been because there was only a very short amount of time left in the match. So they might have decided, at the time that he got injured, it was like 30 seconds remaining. So they were like, we'll keep him out there just in case. If New Zealand wants to win the Olympics, keep this team together. Don't bring in any 15 superstars. That has always backfired, says Moose. But it looks like now Rockali Soa has been taken off the field for New Zealand. 5 minutes remaining. Ball's going to be fed in by Barreto. It's the offload away now. GB only 10 metres out from their own line. Now off to the right-hand side. Barreto goes to Will Homer. Oh, he's tripped out. I think that the field and the ball has actually had more. I don't know what it is, but they've tripped over each time they've had the ball, GB. They've dropped the ball in open play when the ball hasn't even been passed. Like literally running, they've dropped the ball. I don't know what it is that has happened. Good night, Kiwi first started in the 70s, ran for years to signal end of TV, and bedtime essentially been brought back a few times on various channels, says Kerr. Now, why is Rockali Soa off injured? No, they just feel that there's going to be a secured victory and they want to save him for their next game up against the Flying Fijians, I would think. But I don't believe he had any injury involved in that one. Now, Great Britain moving up to their 22. About 6 phases in a row now, but still not quite able to break through that New Zealand defence. Will Homer, nice pass off. to Ethan Waddleton. Could this be the chance for Great Britain? Not quite. Taken down again. 30 metres out from their line. Methodically trying to build metre by metre up the park. Will Homer now goes for the offload pass again. Now the space is opening up. Kalen Burrito, ball on the outside to Ethan Waddleton, or in fact, no, sorry, it is Sofalaran. Ended up with that one. Tackle is called, so they do have to release Kalen Burrito. Now off to the left, Homer. One more. It seems like GB are moving in slow motion at the moment. I don't know whether or not it is the pitch. Maybe it's a bit more grippy than it was. Do you have aspirations for doing commentary on radio or TV? Not sure, to be honest. Which sounds like a weird answer because of how many commentary live streams we do on YouTube. But I feel like the thing that should be an advantage for Leroy Carter making the tackle on the ground. Yes, it was the offside, so they will be going back for it now. Double blow the whistle, yellow card against Leroy Carter. It was a little bit cynical, but Brady Rush looks like he is also going to be injured here at this stage. 2 infringements in a row. Oh, they've given Brady Rush the yellow card. Leroy Carter's gotten away with that one. He could have easily been penalised for that. And keep pushing Great Britain, says Blues Nate. But yeah, I don't think, the reason I enjoy doing the commentary so much is not so much because of the rugby or the cricket. It's more because we have the chat running. And in an actual commentary booth, you do not have that. So I feel like that's that kind of seesaw that you got to try and waver up. Also, New Zealand are just playing it on another level. Says Luke, yeah, they've been looking very strong. Amanaki Nicole, they've actually said, might have been the man who got penalised rather than Rush. But it's good news for Brady Rush, seeing as he was injured. And also, they gave the wrong guy the yellow card and the injured player. Yeah, so I guess it works out for New Zealand because now they don't have to replace 2 players. Oh, looks like Leroy Carter. Oh, no, the referee might have actually realised. Yeah, Amanaki Nicole is the one now going to the bin. Only 2 minutes 40 remaining in this matchup. We can see a couple sides warming up in the background. I believe that would be Hong Kong, China. They are going to be taking on Japan. And YouTube is is much more engaging platform. You can see live feedback of your commentary. Says coding. That's going to be going in for the corner. Will Homer scores. And that is going to be the first try of the match for Great Britain. Now, I'm going to say the same thing for what I said between the French and the Fijians, which is 2 quick tries here in the next 2 minutes, and Great Britain would actually be in the lead here. So New Zealand have not completely secured this win. They're playing with 6 men for 2 minutes of the 3 minutes. Well, for the box anyway, says Mus. Berger mostly played at 6 or 7, and 6, not 8, says Mus there. And let's go. Says Nate, and also sometimes live feedback in chat isn't a good idea though. Hashtag chili no chili challenges here. I'm terrible with spice. Even sweet chili sauce, I'm like, oh, that's a bit hot. But I also am of the firm believer that when it gets to a certain spice, it no longer becomes fun because you can't taste what you're tasting. You just taste the spice rather than what you're trying to eat. And Lomu would have been devastating in the year of 7, says Carl. Now, it is going to be a numbers penalty. I believe New Zealand actually had 7 men on the field when they were supposed to have 6, so they have been penalised for that. That is something you don't see every day of the week. But now New Zealand going to be defending. Only 2 minutes remaining on the clock here for Great Britain. Drop ball again. This time, Sofalaran. They've said it's gone backwards. And now there's a knock-on, so they can't help that one. They may have gotten away with 1, but they will not get away with 2. And Lomu's health problems would be harder for him in this era of 7, says Mus. And also would have been, Lomu would have been devastating in this era of 7s, says Carl. And there Israel won his belt back, says Max there. Yeah, I was going to be watching that pay-per-view probably after this one. I was going to give it a look. But then I think at this stage, with me knowing who won the main fight, I don't know whether I will purchase it anymore because I was just going to purchase it after these 7s ones and then watch through while there was the gap in the 7s. How many chili spices can you eat? Sweet chili sauce, 1 row on a Subway 6-inch or foot long, and then after that it gets too spicy for myself. Now, nice run. This will be the try for New Zealand, I would think. Regan Ware breaking forward, thought about giving away the pass on the inside to win by points. Okay, I think someone said he knocked him out, Alex Pereira, so that would have been a very nice feeling for him. a nice, not sure if my comment is applicable, sorry, but New Zealand performance in the second half is not as great as their first half performance of the past several games. I wonder why. Hmm. I mean, it just seems to be sometimes you go through leaps and bounds and you go through ups and downs in the game of sevens. But yeah, I think maybe taking their foot off the gas a little bit, knowing that they've got Fiji in the next game could have been part of it, but then also making a few errors in that process did not help them out. We were standing beside Lomu, just wondering how his thighs were bigger than my torso, says Kerr. And fourth time's a charm, I guess, says Mus. And your commentary is spicy, hotter than jalapeno chilies, eh? Says a roof there. And good on Izzy, I suppose, says Mus. For his sake, he had to win it. But now it means that they'll have to fight again. And then Izzy, if he loses that next one, then he'll be back to, he won't get another chance. So it will be an interesting one, but I'm sure he's happy getting his belt back. And Israel Adesanya. Now, it is the full-time siren. All New Zealand need is to get this ball back, and then it will be the end of this matchup between the two sides. Now going down the short side, it's going to be Safalaran. Scores the try, last minute one for Team GB Lawrence has always had problems. Never affected him come on, says Carl. And also, guys, the knockout on YouTube. Go have a look, says Max there. And also, so Fiji versus New Zealand in the semi-final, says Vinian. It certainly is. And then on the other side of the draw, it will be Samoa taking on the Australians. So those are two very awesome matches that we're going to get to see back to back. And the first one is starting at 8:13. And that will be Samoa, Argentina. Then Fiji will be playing up against New Zealand. That will be taking place at 8:35. But I do thank you all very much for tuning into this live stream. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Like I mentioned, we'll be back for that first match at 8:13. Also, the 8:35 game between New Zealand and the Flying Fijians. But thank you all very much. I will see you all for